Melanated family, we are back. Brand new year, brand new game, right? I want to thank everybody that sent me all the messages last year when I said I'm gonna stop for a few weeks. All the support that I've been able to get on the Melanated Convo's YouTube channel, just all my social media sites. I'm excited to be back for a new year. I'm rejuvenated family. And today on the show, with me and my brother, I'm gonna introduce my brother here in a second. But what me and my brother are gonna talk about here today is what can black men do going into 2023? How can we be more productive? Everyone likes to use the January 1st date as a gauge to begin moving in a direction that can be more beneficial, whether it's with your health, whether it's with a relationship, whether it's with your money, right?
Right.
New Year's resolution ideal in America is a really big thing. I'm not much for the New Year's resolution. I think every week, month, quarterly, you should be looking at your improvement, things you need to do. But I get it. And I've even used the new year as a gauge for what I'm gonna do in the new year, or how to change things, rather, right? But the biggest thing we need to look at, whether it's January 1st or any date you want to start with, your birthday, whatever day that may be, it's all about being productive. Like, how can we move in a direction where, as black men, we are more productive and more useful in our society, whether it's our family, our job, our business, whatever we're doing. So I'm gonna run down a list of things in no particular order that I think we should focus on. That I think we should remove ourselves from, kind of rid ourselves of to a degree. You feel me?
Yeah.
And all of this is practical shit. Now on the show today, I got my brother, right? I got 5 homeboys. I apologize. 5 homeboys I've been having since I was 11 years old, 10 years old, right? This is one of those friends. A lot of the conversations that I bring to you guys, my perspective on different things. Me and this brother, we share the same perspective, and we talk a lot about these things in particular. So on the show today, I got my brother Jarrette Bourn. JB,
what's up, y'all? What's up? Well, my brother from another mother. What's up, Harrison? How you doing, bro?
Why you say my...
What's up, Harrison?
What's up?
I didn't call you mother now. I didn't call you hair dog.
Oh, come on, man. Chill with all that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So today, JB, like I said, that's a good topic for the start of the year, right, JB? Like talking about what we as black men need to leave in the past, like turn over a new leaf, as they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. I think what you're talking about, as far as the new year coming up and how we let that the year be done with and move on to the next one, but take the good from 2022 and leave the rest. Take the best and leave the rest. Because in that year that we just had, it was a rough one.
A lot of stuff to leave behind.
We lost some folks. I think Sidney Poitier take off. Who else?
Wait, Sidney Poitier died last year?
Sidney Poitier in 93.
Oh, damn.
A national treasure.
And I see he has a documentary, everybody, on Apple TV that's pretty intriguing. And I was watching that.
You know what? Thank you for that. I need to look into that.
Not even knowing the brother has perished. So RIP to the brother Sidney Poitier.
Yeah. Yep.
Renaissance man, as they say.
Oh man, Mr. Tubbs, Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
All right, so everybody, welcome my brother Jarrette Bourn on the show with me. One of my best friends in life. We're gonna do the show today together. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Melanated Convo. I got some great interviews coming up this week. This month, this year. I got a lot of stuff scheduled for the family, a lot of different things we're going to do. I'm excited to be back. So let's get into it, family. So some of the first things I would tell, and again, the things I'm going to mention is in no particular order, but they're all of importance.
Right.
So some of the first things we need to stop doing, JB, when I look at black men and I turn on my phone and I'm looking at Instagram and the internet and how the young black men around me interact with the internet.
Right.
We need to quit comparing ourselves to other people. Everybody needs to understand the fact that you're in a race by yourself.
Uh-huh.
It's really no one else in that race. But I have to admit, the pressures in what the young people face is a little bit different, JB.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. That's also true.
yes,
Also true.
turning on your phone, looking at your phone and looking at all these people who say they balling, looking at everybody who's giving you their perceived measures of success, right? This can be traumatizing to people, or this can put people in a position where shit. I didn't think I needed a new ass, but maybe I do now. You know what I mean?
And then think about the word going viral. It's a disease.
Yeah.
So the things people are showing on the internet now is things we would keep in the shadows before. Now these buffoons, okay, they're not smart people. I ain't saying all of them. I'm saying all of them. so they post stuff online to be tough or cool, but they end up getting arrested behind what they're posting. And you have this community on your phone who does not know you, who does not really care for you, who you're trying to impress. It's pretty dangerous.
Think about that logic. A whole bunch of people who you've never met, who don't really give two shits about you, but you care everything about what they think.
At all. They want to see you crash and burn.
Until you crash and burn, then they're right there for it. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at social media in general, there are some beautiful aspects of it. Like you can share your message, you can promote your business, your whatever entrepreneur spirit you have, you can connect with family members. There's some great things to it, but just like everything that's been created for us in this country that's great, there's a downside to it.
Absolutely.
That you
have to. Another thing about these sites that we have to be careful of as Black people on this planet. They restrict certain people, but other content users get everything.
Yes.
So there's a method to this. There's a method to this madness. There's another documentary that's about social attacks on different groups, and I can't tell you the name of it because this is so much content. But I have to find that and share that with the group, with the fam.
No, that's true, because like sometimes, again, you'll turn on your phone and you'll see someone that you perceive as popular, but you don't know what propaganda machine is behind that person. You don't know how much money is behind that person.
At all.
Like everything is smoke and mirrors.
Do you know what I ask myself though? Who's in charge of posting content? What do these teams look like that say, you know what, we're going to put that on our site. Let's upload that. There's think tanks and teams that are doing this. I really wonder, do they look like the people they're broadcasting to? Small
percentage of the time. You'll be surprised. I'm finding out, JB, after this whole journey I'm doing while trying to locate Black business. You remember for a point of time, I was always talking about Black businesses, bringing them on the show. Well, I had to slow it down and vet people a little more closely because I was finding Black businesses that was all Black, JB, till I got to the top and they were Asian. And I said, whoa, what? So, I get it. That's why when I was communicating with you, your English was broken. It wasn't quite clear. You selling this, you found a demographic and you created a whole promotional campaign behind who you're trying to target, and you don't even look like that.
No, at all.
You know what I mean? So I said, damn, I gotta back up because
did you hear about do Koreans own Popeyes? Did you hear about that?
I've never heard that.
No, somebody need to verify that story, something like that. But that's what I heard. I don't want to speculate. You got to look it up. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I got to hire a secretary first.
Second shit. As Black folks, we have to be aware because of our emotional attachment to, I think, everything we've been through. It's easy sometime to get us. Ooh, this is Black power. Ooh, Black Lives Matter. Because
we're very forgiving people.
Yeah. To a fault, a lot of times.
Because all this hate stuff didn't begin with us.
Yeah. So that's definitely a fault that we have as Black folks. And just one more thing I want to wrap up as far as the internet's concerned. Everything matters on the internet now. Like we used to say the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Not any, maybe 1,000 words, but not as much as it used to be. Now it's damn near worth 1,000 lies. You'll see a person.
And how about a video is worth 2,000 words?
Right? Because you'll see the angle they use, you'll see the lighting they use. People go through great measures to make a picture look good, but may not look that way in person. So Black men, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with liking a beautiful woman. We all understand that. But as black men, you need to understand, like looks aren't everything. We all know this, but we have to be real about this fact that who a person is, if the person is down for you, these are all the attributes you need to look for. And then you need to know who the person is when the mask comes off. Because when I'm looking online, I see fake everything.
Absolutely.
Right? Your eyebrows are fake.
Absolutely.
You have on a whole bunch of makeup. Your hair is fake. Your ass or your titties may be fake. This is not you. I need to see who your mama had.
And you want a man to keep it real with you.
Yeah. What if
you want somebody to keep it real with you? You want someone to keep it real with you, but everything you have, you're fake.
What if I want to have a baby with this woman based on what I'm looking at? Based on her hair texture, based on how her face looks. What if that's my child right there? And get this bitch home. get her home and take off the hair, hat, and the makeup, and she looked like my cousin Charles.
Smoking.
I'm like, Charles, you better get out this bed.
An optical illusion.
Optical illusion. See,
what did you do with the lady that I came home with?
Where's Maria? You're not Maria. You're Martin. You're Martin. God damn it! And then you will post a woman will post a picture where everything is fake, but she asking, keep it real. Where the real men at? Where the ballers? If you don't stop it, you see.
Man.
But younger men may not be aware of the optical illusion. So you thinking, oh, something's wrong with my woman because I'm looking at all these pictures and looking at all this produced material,
right?
And think I'm lacking when,
right?
Look, in actuality, there are beautiful people everywhere in the world, right? But let's go America real quick. In America, most people are overweight.
Yeah.
JP, I think what's the size of the average woman in America? I think it's like a 9, 10, some shit.
I'm not gonna go there with you.
Something that's not what you see on Instagram, right?
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely. More like Walmart.
more like Walmart.
That's more like what's real.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So you got to be able to debrief your mind, because that can happen to all of us, JB, where you want to break from reality. You want to break from your reality. You open your phone, man, and you see train wrecks. It's train wreck after train wreck after beautiful image.
Yeah. And then the grass is, the grass is always, the grass is greener in people's minds. And then you get over there and it's fake grass.
It's turf. It's astroturf. It hurt like a motherfucker when you fall.
It hurt. It's dirt and just covered up with like a green foam. That's all you get.
That's all you get.
And you're like, I want to go back to my other grass. Well,
yeah,
that grass is gone.
Yeah, now she got a big buff nigga over there. You know what I mean? Big buff business owner ass nigga. You know what I mean?
His name Melvin.
Go to church at nigga. He don't even cuss at you. You know what I mean?
Melvin.
Melvin. That's hella funny. Oh shit. Hey, so the internet's a thing. Black men, be aware of what you see on the internet. Use your reality as your gauge. I know, like, you can see businesses online. You can see people giving you these ebooks and all this information to make a quick buck. Bucks aren't made quick. Okay. Like, I know when somebody is struggling, JB, when they're in a struggle mentality.
Yeah.
That's when you're easy prey. That's when you can cut on your phone, cut on your TV, and they say, are you depressed? Are you tired of working your job? 1099. I've retired. I started off with 1099. Now I have 3 homes and I make stop it.
Right.
When you're in a struggle mode, you'll fall for these things. So this is the temperament of a man. You have to like really get in touch with who you are. And early I learned, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Usually. 9.5 out of 10 times.
Usually. And as far as struggle mode goes for Black people in America, we're like born into it. We got to find our way out of struggle mode.
We got to find a way out of struggle. But JB, first, you have to realize you're there. First, you have to realize that I'm not thinking about the future. My only thought process is, what am I going to eat for dinner? And when do them new Jordans come out?
But on dinner and lights and gas, for a lot of people, they ain't thinking about on kicks. They're thinking about Pampers. They're thinking about the essentials.
Sometimes,
that's
a lot of times, but sometimes the bottom line is you're thinking about tomorrow, opposed to thinking about 5 years from now, or
Right.
10 years from now. And being in a struggle mentality, it's going to be really difficult to think about 5 or 10 years from now. A lot of the young men around me are struggling with life simply because they move really fast and they're caught up in that struggle mentality. Growing up,
I can definitely relate. I can definitely relate.
Growing up, they didn't have the necessary resources. They didn't have an abundance of certain things to make it so when you're an adult, you're not so desperate to get certain materialistic things. There's a process to it. And certain young men, I'm speaking my life and the young men around me, because of how they grew up, the neighborhoods they grew up in, the things that are around them entice them a lot. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're right. You know what struggle mode does? It suppresses imagination.
Ooh.
So when you feeling all you're thinking about is that, you can't even look down the road because you're trying to eat. You're trying to keep these lights, or you're trying to keep your family warm or full. So you can't even look, and you have all these ideas. I know a lot of brothers can relate to this. You have all these ideas, but you can't find a way to get them out there because all you're doing is paying bills.
Because see, people don't realize how difficult it is to be creative when you're hungry. When you're hungry, that brings a different type of animal out of you, especially if you're a man and there are people that are around you who depend on you. You be like, yeah, I got an idea for a clothing line, but I got $2 in my pocket.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What to do?
Then how do you make that? How do you switch that to that? But
you see,
there's
so
people that can help that information have been on the show before, as a matter of fact.
True. And I think sometimes young dudes, this is just from our community in particular, we need to get familiar with working. We need to get familiar with corporate America to a degree. Like everybody, like we're going to talk about a little bit later, everybody doesn't have the business acumen to be a businessman or businesswoman. Maybe you can support a business or an organization, but first things first, understanding that we Black in America is to understand that there hasn't been a lot of infrastructure set up for us or by us, right? So when it comes to how to conduct business, how to be professional, how to set up business structure, sometimes working in a business structure will help you with these things. Yeah, you don't want to work for the white man. He didn't held you down, blah, blah, blah. But you got to learn from somewhere first at times.
Exactly. And another thing I would tell young brothers watching this, whoever they may be, do a lot of stuff when you're young. Do a lot of different jobs so you can figure out what you don't want to do later in life.
That's
do a lot of different stuff when you're young, so later in life you can figure out what you don't want to do.
And
just eliminate stuff off your list.
That's people don't even realize the how serious that is, JB, because it really helps. But what people don't like, working at menial jobs, I think in general, you learn a lot of stuff from these jobs.
Absolutely.
How to be on time, how to be punctual, how to listen to somebody that you don't really fuck with. Like that's a sacrifice you're taking mentally for a greater good.
Right.
Everybody got to learn how to do that at some point in time. You know what I mean?
My first job, I was 14 years old collecting recycling. So,
I remember that.
Yeah, my first gig. So that's you do what you can do till you do what you want to do. I learned a lot at that job. I learned a whole lot.
Yep. And I think it builds character. And we can't deny the fact that everybody, you can pray to God, you can pray to whoever you want to pray to. I'm more of a universal guy. I'm more of my universe, my ancestors, the sun. Shit, S-U-N, the sun, right?
I got you.
The universe, I'm seeing that when I put forth effort, when I decided, JB, that I'm going to do any job necessary to support my kids, from shoveling shit to wearing a costume in front of a store. Give me the costume, right? Once I decided, I'm going to do what I got to do.
Quack.
Quick quack. And then once I decided I'm going to do whatever I got to do, doors started to open. The universe started to help me out. My ancestors started to help me out because they knew I'd do anything. Sometimes we have people and Black men, I got to get at us a little bit. We have dudes with no business acumen. You haven't worked nowhere, but you ain't going to accept that job.
Don't worry about that, man. That's beneath me.
That's beneath. So what's above you then?
Beneath you too. You gotta get pretty low to do that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for real.
So we realistically gotta approach life, and that leads me to, like, a lot of our young men get deeply involved in the street shit. And this is a delicate topic, JB, because I grew up in an environment where a lot of dudes didn't have resources based on their parents' inability to do certain things.
Right.
So they were almost forced to feed themselves,
Right.
right? That's
I can relate.
section.
Yes. Yes, we can. So to your point about that, when all you see around you is people that's getting down and hurting people that look just like them because of proximity, and then you say to yourself, man, you know what? This is how I got to make money. So some people say, yeah, they give into it. Other people say, absolutely not. Me and you are the kind of people that say, nah, we're good, because we kind of seen around us very, very close proximity of how people was getting down and getting treated. And then, for example, with people being in the street and not knowing what they're doing, and then your somebody in your family get your house shot up while you're minding your own business, and you realize how stupid and dumb this really is, and what would that have proven? You know what I mean? If they really got somebody inside the house as they tried to, it was more to make a point than to really get somebody, I think. But still, the fact that it happened,
Definitely. And we have to realize that what I think is when we look at a hood environment, most of the young men, not all, we're not speaking absolutes like my brother Zoe say, but most of the young men will fall victim to the environment. Me and you were able to say, yeah, I don't want to be involved, but you're still so close to it that things can happen. Some dudes say, nah, it looked easy. I know a lot of dudes who selling the dope it looked it like a harmless, easy task compared to what they were going to earn from it. And they get themselves involved in it, and they really not like that. You see what I'm saying? So we have the young
it get real messy real quick. You can deal with some real sharks.
See, that's what nobody tells you when they're presenting to you the glamour. Because when we look at like the young brother, Young Thug, and all his friends and everything they're going through,
what a mess!
That street shit ain't what it cracked up to be.
What a mess!
And a lot of times, people back in the day, I remember my brother and a lot of dudes around me shielding me from what they did in the street. They weren't embarrassed by what they were doing. Cut your volume down a little bit, JB.
Okay.
They weren't embarrassed by what they were doing, but they knew there was no longevity.
Right.
They knew it wasn't something a young, bright person should be doing. Nowadays, we got everybody glorifying a lot of this street shit. So that's all I would ask. We need to stop like the glorification of it. And people that are involved in it, you need to make sure you're preaching the time clock you're under.
Right.
Got a couple years.
And you know that YSL gang named after Cologne or whatever, I don't know, whatever that means. Yeah. I thought of something. YSL, y'all sings lots. YSL. Okay.
Hey, everybody's singing, huh? And
singing. And you see the level of respect that is given. Like it's not my place to say what a man should say about his crew or whatever, but the optics look like you're a snitch.
That's how it looked for a lot of them taking them plea deals. But
that's how it looks.
That should be expected.
Yeah.
Most dudes who participate in this type of activity aren't really bred to go through all of the hurdles that actually come with it. And a lot of times too, when we talk about this RICO, I have to, because them brothers could have been doing some illegal stuff. I don't know, right? We don't know. But the government with these RICO charges, this is some white supremacy shit too.
Absolutely.
Like we can't take that off of the plate because we can have a record label. Let's just say, for instance, right? We have a record label called YSL. Some of us used to be in the streets, some of us not. Some of us still interact with our family members who still come from that lifestyle. That's going to look a certain way, but we're actually a record label. But you can put it together and put this RICO together.
Yeah.
This thing that started with the mafia, you can put this RICO case together where it looks like it's a criminal enterprise.
Right.
When in reality, the DA possibly just want to make a name for themselves by targeting this black organization.
And let me ask you this, bro. Suddenly they care.
Yeah.
Suddenly you care because it's high profile. Okay. So how many of these so-called gangs are running around that you have just, you ignore or whatever? But this one right here has caught your attention. Why? There's always an underlying why these people come attack certain situations. And it's to destabilize.
Of course,
It's
always.
it's to keep wobbly and make more anarchy, to slide more puppets into
True.
certain locations.
Now,
You know,
but see, and that's the thing. Everything we saying is true, JB. But to the young dudes out there, because I can understand a young man, right, being a street dude to a degree, and now he has money. So let's say without money, you was willing to do whatever you had to do to come up out here. Now you got money. People may confuse your financial stability with your leadership ability. So now you got a lot of people following you because you got money, and this brings a little bit of weight. So you can tell said individuals to go do something for you. You see what I'm saying?
oh,
Not
absolutely,
realizing how
absolutely.
serious all this is.
Oh, yeah, no question about that. You're 100% right that that's what you can do.
Mhm.
But I feel like if you were in the streets before and you got money, get out. If you were not getting money and you were not getting money and you wasn't in the streets, then you got in the rap game and start getting money and you start being in the streets. Come on,
It's
dog.
backwards. It happens a lot.
Come on, man. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You're hustling backwards.
I think that's fatherhood too, JB. I think a lot of these dudes didn't have fathers in the home. So they rapping and they get to be 27 and now they're rapping and now hoods like them. Like the hood dudes seem to respect them because of their money and their gifted ability, whatever that may be. You see what I'm saying? And now you like not to call out Lil Wayne, but that's just an example of a person who's a little older who now you get to claim in the gang. Now you saying blood and all this gang shit.
Right. Agreed.
When in reality, we know how LA is and how entrenched that city is in gang culture. Sometimes people just want to be safe and they don't want to go the security route. So you'll go the route of befriending said gang, and now you in bed with them. You know what I mean?
I guess that's exactly what's happening with our boy Chris Brown too. Definitely affiliated with the Bloods, yeah.
That happens to a lot of them, and I'm just happy that nothing tragic has happened to none of these young brothers from standing close to somebody. But you know what? People don't realize, and this is what I think, JB. I remember what people don't talk about a lot. Tupac was a good example of all of this because when you befriend gang culture and you're from a different city, LA gang culture is like nothing else. How they get down, what they represent is they wear it a different way. So you may be from a different city and start yelling whatever gang you with while you in LA, but they may not be with you all the time.
You feeling like I mean the reason why that is a good example, but then at the same time, the example is he did befriend, but I think that his murder, because of the unsolvedness of it all and the lack of caring, there's much more than meets the eye than just being him collateral damage because he was with Suge. You know what I mean? It seemed a little heavier than that to your boy. You know, because what Pop represented, even though he was a thug, I mean, he still was a Black Panther in his heart. You know,
very true.
He was willing to talk about it like nobody else was.
Very true. Very true. And I think that's why he stands so prominent.
Yes.
In our culture to this day because of what
he's
for.
Exactly. And for somebody of his stature to be laid down in a high profile location like that, come on, man. He might as well have been Kennedy when he was had the top down. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yep. And I know a lot of people who feel that way, JB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I completely understand that sentiment. But yeah, like just going forward, bro, like using the new year as our gauge, how we engage with street activity as Black men, we have to examine that because we got too many young men that fall prey to their environment, and that's for a lot of reasons. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The fatherhood and men being around has a lot to do with that. Like that's something like having two parents in the home and doing it more of that traditional method. Sometimes we get away from that and people don't see it as being valuable.
Right.
That's something we got to get back to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? And like what we take pride in matters because taking pride in the street shit, anybody I know who was really steeped in any street environment and had to go through all the ebbs and flows of that ideology, they don't glamorize it. They don't want to talk about it. they don't want to highlight any of the negativity about it because they want to put that in their rear view based on the pain and the trauma that it caused. You know what I mean? I think we got a lot of dudes who never really been through nothing in that environment.
Yeah.
That want to glamorize it and talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
And that they have devoured, you know, the culture of being a thug or being a shooter or being a goon, you know. So they dress like these people who a lot of them ain't doing what they saying either.
And we need to reframe being square. Anybody who was really in the street is going to tell you their end goal, like where they want to end up, is on some square shit. They may say it in a cool manner, but all they're saying is no more illegal activity in a stable environment. No more illegal activity. And putting myself in a stable environment.
Right.
That's all being square mean. Because some young dudes in the hood, you tell them square up, or you tell them something about being a square, they gonna frown up at you.
Right.
But if you ain't street, if you ain't about that, then what are we talking about?
Right.
That's not you anyway. You see what I'm saying? So we're dealing with an identity crisis. And something else I want to say to my young dudes, the street shit is something we got to get rid of, but also how we conduct ourselves with women. How we decide, like, how am I going to build a family? This whole baby mama shit. I know it sounds cool. I know we take our trauma and make it into cool terms, but frivolously just having kids with women that you don't know well, that
bad idea. Bad idea.
Yeah,
very bad idea. It creates angry people, which creates angry kids, and also neglected and sometimes abused kids because the parents aren't paying attention to them because they got together for no good reason. So he's living his life, she's living her life, and the baby gets ignored.
And the baby gets ignored.
And when an ignored child, they find somebody to give them that attention.
She might find pimping. Come on, JB.
A lot of times, they the right people.
Yeah, because look, sometimes, shout out to everybody in my city. Sometimes young girls go missing, and the people in my city who are activists, they post about it and they make it a point to speak to the fact that, hey, this young girl's missing. And I hope we find them all, right? Like I'm completely with them. I share the stuff, but I'll be thinking sometime, how many times is she with pimping? How many times is she with the dude who giving her the attention, the admiration, the love that she did not get in her house? We can't act like this ain't a thing. Like we keep repeating, and this happens in all races, but we're speaking about us in particular. We keep repeating the cycle where we have no money, no resources. We're not hard workers. We don't like reading or educating ourselves, but we want to bring a kid into this child. You are, said woman or man, the worst prototype to bring a new person into the world.
Agreed.
And say, well, yeah, I love my baby. I love them. Well, shit. You can do anything. I can drive with my feet if I wanted to.
And
probably not a good idea.
And their only job is to sit at the WIC office and wait. It's like, come on, man. Go apply for a job. Go do something about yourself. You know what I mean? Like just don't sit back here and make this child a check. And then that money run out, you mad again.
And then we have to realize that our men, because I'm speaking directly to my men, we put ourselves in position where this is the woman we were just having sex with, a woman we didn't vet that well, a woman that we didn't know that well at the time, probably not knowing ourselves too well.
Some real hood rat tendencies being displayed.
And we choose to have a baby with this woman because when we talk about the process of having sex, you can wear a condom. Yes. If you're talking to young women, you would say, hey, there's 30 some odd birth control products available. Use one of those. But we're just talking to men. If you're a man, wear a condom. Protect your seed like you would protect your social security number.
Right.
They're the same if you think about it.
You know what I mean? 100% right. And if you give a damn, and if you really care about that, you're a good parent, you're a good person, and you care about this child, and this person tries to keep you from this child, it's going to be some of the biggest hurt you experience in your life. You can avoid that, though, by wearing a rubber and vetting who you sleep with.
Vetting who you sleep with, and first creating, and I've said this 1,000 times, creating value in yourself. Whatever you're chasing, whether there's a career you're looking at, let's say you're an athlete, let's say you're just a hell of a student and you're looking to go to college. If we put our career and our destiny before our sexual desires, we'll end up a lot further because it never, it always seems like we see people who are doing nothing with themselves having a whole bunch of kids. This happens a lot where you're broke, you're lonely, you don't got nothing going for yourself. So all you got time to do is have sex.
Yeah. You want something to make you feel, something to make you feel good.
You want something to make you feel good. And everybody needs, that could be in drugs, that could be with alcohol, whatever that may be. But people are medicated. That can be with a big ass bag of chips. Come on now.
Right. True that.
People medicate in different ways. And sometimes in the hood, young black men need to realize because you didn't have resources, because you don't think a particular way, you think your only level of manhood is your sexual prowess. Like your sexual conquest equals accomplishment, or it make your ego feel a particular way. Right. But all of this is dysfunctional behavior.
Yeah, it is. And that could be stolen from you. That whole ego can be flipped upside down if you have a child and you care, and then you can't see this child for whatever reason that may be. And that woman might move out of state or whatever it may be. And you might be devastated, and then life just gets weirder and weirder for you.
Okay. And my sister, what's up, Tanisha? My sister Tanisha, JB, says, the hell with wearing a condom. If you can't support what you might produce, keep your penis in your pants. A few seconds of pleasure can turn into a lifetime of obligations. Okay, Tanisha. So are you saying men shouldn't have sex if they can't afford to take care of a baby? Come on now. You saying you should.
I understand what she's trying to say, but I mean, he laid down with somebody.
Well, no. But listen to the concept, baby.
But what about her though? What about the woman's culpability in the situation?
True.
If he ain't nothing, don't give him none.
That's true. So because she's saying if you don't have the money, because let's say a condom break, let's say a mistake happens, right? Should you even put yourself in a position to make that mistake happen? So should everybody be?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? No,
so should everybody broke be walking around celibate?
I don't think so. Because there'll still be somebody saying, "Could I buy a bit?"
I think being celibate is a little bit drastic, but in reality, you have to think about that hard. Because really, I know men who didn't have kids till later in life, who only have 1 or 2 kids right now, and use condoms. So it's rare, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, JB, that I've seen a man that said, man, look, I had a baby with her, but I wore a condom every time, and the condom bust, or there was some malfunction condom-wise.
No,
is the reason why I got my kid.
That's cap, as they say.
That's cap.
Cap, that is. You know, with no cap on, obviously. That's what went down there. Hey. What we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about BG. What we gonna talk about?
You said BG? What that mean?
Oh yeah, Brittany Griner.
Oh, okay. So give me 1 second. Okay, she said don't go to the
That goes for men and women. Well, thank you, Tanisha.
All right, so now what we're going to do, JB, so we will go into like a quick year in review, but that's something we need to think about as black men.
Absolutely.
How we deal with women, how we deal with the internet, like the business thing is something else I want to mention, JB. We always going online, and a lot of the information I consume, it's real popular right now to tell everybody to start a business. That's a really popular, start a business, get some side income while you broke. You know what I mean?
I do agree. We have to make something for ourselves in the world.
That's the energy you get when you go online. But here's the thing: everybody can't be a business. Everybody's not equipped to be a business owner.
True.
Maybe a business ain't your thing. We were saying before the show, JB. Maybe you just need to start or be a part of an organization. Maybe you just need to start coaching.
Yeah, maybe you can be a referee. You can go get into flying kites. It don't matter, whatever you like to do. You know what I mean?
Whatever you like. See, it don't have to be. Now, you can make your hobby a business, but business is a serious thing. The reason why I bring that up, I think we throw that around too loosely, like it's some easy shit to do. The internet sometimes will make you think it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Well, no, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of taking your personal time, the time you got to yourself, and your family, taking that time to cultivate some type of idea.
And an entrepreneurial spirit just doesn't jump inside of you. You had it for a long time.
You may have to work through
and
someone.
If you've been on the couch for like 3-4 years and then you want to start up a business, like good luck with that. You know what I mean? But you gotta put a little work in every day so you can see some of the fruits of those benefits, I would think, And
sometimes, because I think as Black folks, we are bereft of resources and we weren't given certain leg ups, we think it's easy. We think all I got to do is start an LLC and tomorrow I'll be making money. Nah, that's not how it works. It's a whole process that's going to involve you spending your time and your energy and your money, and it's going to be letdowns.
And if you got it in, you do your thing.
You should if you got it in.
If you got it in, you do your thing.
Everybody should try to take a skill or a talent they have to make money off of it, but you shouldn't feel like if you can't do that, you're a loser. You know what I mean?
You should.
If you're working a regular job and it's providing for your family and you can do what makes you happy,
you're good to go.
Because this is the whole point, doing what actually makes you happy,
right?
Then it's all good. Don't let nobody else determine your happiness. Because I was watching like a motivational video online. I think the gentleman's name is Jim Rome or something like that. But he kind of mentioned something that stuck with me, JB. He said success is pretty much like the worthy progression towards something that's meaningful. So if you're making progress towards something that's meaningful,
progression to something that's meaningful.
And I'm paraphrasing because he said it a little bit differently, but that's what he meant. If you're working towards something that's meaningful and you see progression, you're successful. Like sometimes we think success is based on the amount of money I got or the amount of attention I get. All these things is just
you're right.
Like byproducts of your hard work. You know what I mean?
True. Agreed.
All right, so JB, we're gonna do a quick year in review. I'm gonna mention a couple things that happened this year and tell me the first thing you thought about them. And these are
Let's do it.
Talked about. Like
let's do it.
You mentioned Brittany Griner. What do you think about that? Brittany Griner, one of the best female basketball players ever to grace American soil, like especially in the WNBA. She was taken in custody based on having a weed pipe or something real minuscule.
Yes.
And ultimately, the sister was released for like a white man who. who was a killer before, or
she got released for a guy named Victor Boot, aka the Merchant of Death. He's a weapons dealer.
He was a weapons dealer.
Yeah, he sells weapons across the planet.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not familiar with that form of being released. I'm not sure if that's in America.
Yeah, that adds up, right?
Right.
So Brittany Griner was a cog in the political wheel of this ridiculously stupid, insane war that Putin's putting on.
That makes sense.
So she got caught. She's a tall, lesbian, black female in Russia. She was used as a pawn so they can get Victor Boot out. And they held her and threatened her with all this foolishness, knowing they just wanted to get one of their people out.
9 years.
Everybody's up in arms. And everybody's up in arms about, this American guy didn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
The deal was this. It was 1 for 1 or nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So people got to realize what they were being offered, and it's a sweet deal. And my man's history ain't that great either. Mm-hmm. I'm not throwing dirt on him, but look up some of his history, and he wasn't a saint.
Yeah, and this is political games that America play, because some of those details I wasn't aware of, but all of it seems like political maneuvering. You see what I'm saying? Like again, like you said, she said that was a setup. They held her to get what they wanted, and our dumb ass president gave in. I think they could have. I think Russia, Tanisha. I think Russia and America, they could have been working it out the whole time. It could have been way more subtle than we think it was. They could have been talking about, all right, we got her. This is what we gonna do. What can you do for me? That type of thing. Because America has been a big player in this war between Ukraine and Russia, and they've been assisting Ukraine way more than they've ever assisted Black people in America. You know what I mean? And see, there's a lot of Black people a lot of Black women in our country who identify with feminism, right? Who identify with Margaret Sanger and this whole idea that women are being held down. And that's a white woman's fight, because when shit like this happens to Black women, no feminist group, JB, came out and said, we support Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Brittany. Not that I seen. You know what I mean?
In the beginning of it, they told people to be quiet so that they would mess it up for negotiations.
And something funny, like a picture in this instance, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words, because I seen the video of her being released, right? And the Victor guy is passing her. They're passing each other at the same time. Every white man that's walking with both of them stops and talks to him, leaves her just sitting there. They stop and talk to him. Hey, how you doing? It was definitely pleasantries. You know what I mean? It wasn't no aggressive shit. So I'm like, all y'all motherfuckers working together.
You see that? And this dude give terrorists bombs to do whatever they want to with.
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about.
And I seen him on 60 Minutes, like a quick clip of him on 60 Minutes, and he discussed his disdain for America. How America, he's so sad that America isn't what he thought it was. Like he was just shitting on us on 60 Minutes. You know what I mean? So we exchanged this asshole for just a basketball player, black basketball player.
Who came over there to give you guys basketball glory. She's over there with your team.
She'll probably never go back.
You recruited her.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
See,
and another reason why she was over there, she's getting paid $1 million, and she's getting $140,000 a year in the WNBA, which is sad.
This speaks to the capitalism in America.
Absolutely.
Brittany Griner was in Russia because she ain't making shit here. She's the best. She can dunk, for crying out loud. Like she's a woman who can dunk a basketball with ease. And like you said, she only getting 140.
140. And she getting $1 million in Russia. I mean, we might want to go too. You know what I mean? So maybe guess what? Maybe we should been there several times. She's been there several times. How much weed she have on her every time? This time they hemmed her up. Just saying, people.
For trinkets now.
Right. Timing, people. Timing.
I haven't been able to talk to you about, well, at least on the show, for that matter. Something we discussed though. So something else that happened in 2022 that was pertinent for Black folks. What do you feel about the Deion Sanders situation? I talked to you about it before. But what's your take on him leaving Jackson State?
First of all, he did what he set out to do there. Mm-hmm. He didn't lie to anybody. He got 300% pay raise, from what I'm understanding. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's not going to take that. Could he have stayed longer? I don't think so. I think he did his job. I don't feel betrayed. I feel like he opened the door for a lot more coaches to come follow what he started. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he should feel any kind of way about people saying stay longer and keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I do feel bad for some of those recruits that he got there and he walked out before he can have a chance to coach them.
True.
So I hope those boys had a talk with him and he set that straight before he left. But me, I'm good with it because life's about graduation. He did something and he graduated to the next level.
Now, if he would have presented his situation like, I'm here to save this school and I'm going to stay and we're going to get this done, and no matter how many years it take, if he was preaching that type of thing, then I would call him a hypocrite and we would have to have that conversation. But Deion was on 60 Minutes maybe a year and a half ago, and they asked him, if you get an offer from another school, what you going to do? He said, I'll be a fool not to entertain it. Then he said, the athletic director here at Jackson told me when I first started, hey, give me a couple years, Deion. Give me 2 or 3 years. But something else I realized, Jarrette, Black HBCU coaches. There are other Black coaches, head coaches of HBCUs that are ex-NFL players, some Hall of Famers too. But sometimes Black folks get caught in this celebrity shit. We get caught in this celebrity worship shit. Since Deion is a polarizing Black celebrity.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He is, but he's polarizing too, meaning the amount of attention he's always garnered is more than the average football player. Can we agree on that? You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
The amount of attention he garnered made people say, "Ooh, look at Jackson State. Ooh, what's going on with Jackson State? Let me possibly send my kid to an HBC." Look, we shouldn't have to wait on a celebrity to bring attention to something we all should have been given a fuck about. Because anybody who's saying, "Hey, Deion disappointed the Black community, he let me down," whatever the case may be, you can help too. See, I don't like when regular Black folks look at celebrities and people that they view out of reach as the end all be all with our saviorism, when you can do some shit too. You want to help this cause? Send your 4-star athlete to an HBCU.
That's it.
See, and I was talking something else.
I agree, and it does feel like HBCUs just got built yesterday, huh?
Just looking at them, huh?
Yeah, and it's like that they have definitely been there, y'all. And
They've been there.
but Dion has set up a great staff. He left us in a great place. He got a lot. He upgraded a lot of facilities. He did a whole lot for the city, and so I mean, he should be proud of himself. And he's taking his son with him to Colorado. So more power to the brother, man.
He's taking his son and several other young black men who will be able to benefit from his tutelage.
Absolutely.
And again, regular black people who always armchair quarterback and Monday morning quarterbacking. I get it being reactionary because we've been treated a particular way, but keep in mind that you can do something too. Yeah. I'm tired of black folks looking at celebrities and people who are well-to-do and politicians, because if the only time you're giving an input about black life in America is when you go on a vote, you ain't helping us at all.
No, but you know what though? As far as celebrities go, we can't let them all the way off the hook, because we have to be real that they are role models to some people. They can't deny that. That's just the way it is. True. And you can't pick what people look at you like a role model because you're on TV now making them some good money. So you still have some type of responsibility, I feel. It's not me to say what the responsibility is, but I do feel like if you are a prominent person, you're on TV or you're doing certain things, you ain't got to be an angel. I'm not saying none of that. You ain't got to be a saint. None of that. I'm just saying that there's people looking at you. You know what I mean? So don't go out your way to be a jerk. I think that.
Sure. I think black celebrities, black people that are in influential positions should look at that as a prideful place to be and do everything they can to help us. That's my mentality. My problem is we look at these people as saviors. Like, we're so disappointed when they don't do what we think they should do, when in our life, we don't do shit to help black people. We don't support black businesses. We don't support black causes. We always talking something negative. So I think things are going to rapidly change, JB, when the everyday black person realizes they have a stake in this too. They can do something today and tomorrow that can impact our future as black folks. But I understand a celebrity has more eyes on them.
Yeah,
they have more of an
influence. And then think about how celebrity used to be a real big deal back in the day, and how nowadays it's not like it used to be. So I'm talking about Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, the biggest stars in the world. Now you can be a star from Love and Hip Hop,
and they're not exclusive no more. We used to have to read about celebrities. We didn't see them taking a vacation. We didn't see them in a restaurant. We didn't know how their kids looked.
They were elusive.
Very elusive, which made it like, ooh, it's time to see him. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Now you cut on your phone and you see so and so having sex with who? They at the damn mall. They shopping. They eating a hamburger. Nobody care about that shit.
No, nobody care. That's why I like Kendrick so much. He's out of the shadows. He's in the shadows somewhere.
Yeah, Kendrick is like an old school artist.
He's an old school artist. I like that.
I show up every year and a half. Do my thing.
And you have to watch his concert. Oh, I think I showed you that.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, I think.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful. Great stuff.
Yep. Another thing that happened this year, controversial topic. A couple more things I want to discuss with you. One thing that happened this year is our brother R. Kelly got 30 years, right?
You say 40?
30. He got 30 years.
Good Lord.
He got 30 years for supposedly misconduct with these young women, right? Very touchy subject coming off of the Me Too movement and just how neglected black women have been throughout our history here in this country. So it makes it a hot button topic. But what do you think? Like, just your honest opinion, if you can, when you think of that man being the musical genius he is, we have to keep it real. What do you think when you see he gets 30 years?
I think that they tried to make a black man the poster child for some of the most heinous things. But I think R. Kelly was wrong as hell for some of the stuff that he allegedly did, and definitely that video or whatever. 30 years when some of these girls' parents were dropping them off to him. What about their time? I think that the crime is maybe a little bit excessive for the punishment. It's hard for me to say that at the same time. I don't know what time will be adequate for the things that he's accused of doing.
True. So
I'm not quite sure, what type of time. But I think about at least 15 15 years, maybe 1,000, maybe 100,000 lashes.
Oh, like that, like that.
You know what I mean?
Like
Something
Dr.
like
Umar
that might satisfy the crowd. You know. But man, it's a mess. It's a mess, you know. And it's so sad that somebody that talented and that musical that we grew up appreciating his music has this whole new persona now of being the pie pervert. The Pie Piper pervert. Yeah, that's his name now. Triple P.
And we'll probably that's funny. And we'll probably never see him free again. And here's the thing: if you're a grown man who has sex with an underage girl, meaning in this listen, if you have consensual sex with an underage girl, somebody can say, look, she was too young to consent to that. Like her mind wasn't where it needed to be to consent to having sex with you. Fine. Like if you want to make that's a crime in our country, I get it. Keep it in mind, and I got to shout out my brother Corey Holcomb. He in different countries, in different places, the age for consent is different. Now, I don't know if a 14-year-old in Argentina is different than a 14-year-old here. That's not for me to say. But in different countries, the age to have sex with a woman is actually when her period starts. Now, I get the maturity level. I get the manipulation level of an older man. So if a man's caught doing this, some type of punishment, maybe just how I think, maybe some mental help. He need to sit down and talk to somebody. Maybe he need to, you know what I mean? There's some things that need to happen there. But in R. Kelly's case, he also had to deal with women saying, like, the things he made me do. Right? Because I was just watching the documentary about the Playboy Mansion in Hugh Hefner's ass and some of the same type of
was celebrated, wasn't he?
Atmosphere that was created, celebrated. Right? So if R. Kelly is making a woman do something beyond what she is willing to do, and then you won't let her leave, this is something different. Now, to my understanding, that wasn't what he was caught with. To my understanding, these women can leave. So if you can leave, yes, you could have been manipulated, but a little bit of responsibility has to be thrown your way. And some of the women were adults. So if you're an adult and you go with R. Kelly and you subject yourself to everything that he did, I don't say you deserve it, but should he be punished with like the full book being thrown at him? Because these women is mentioning how things he did to him as an adult, and they never said I was kidnapped. Yeah, he manipulated me to not want to talk to my family. Mm-hmm. But could I just walk outside if I wanted to? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what though? It always comes down to me, because I didn't really look into the case because I'm kind of just disgusted with it. But if there are innocent underaged girls being exploited, you deserve what you get. If there are willing grown participants, you probably wanted to be in love with the lifestyle. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. But the innocents, those are the ones, the underage innocents, the ones that, I have a problem being taken advantage of.
I understand. I have granddaughters.
So that's the way I feel about that.
Yes. I can. So, but JB, so how do we, again, this isn't an excuse for R. Kelly. Punishment should happen. Like because he was with Aaliyah, Jarrette, and we knew this and we seen this, and there wasn't a Lifetime special at that time. So, I mean, his feet wasn't held to the fire, but we seen this shit. But can we not ignore the fact, JB, that when we were in 8th grade and 9th grade, niggas in cars came to pick chicks up? Come on now. From 8th grade, from 9th grade, men with cars. This is a fact. Men with cars came to get little girls. And we was like, whatever.
I mean,
I seen it.
There might have been a couple situations, but I didn't know neither one of them that well. We was kind of age appropriate in our circles.
We were, but it was common for young girls to like, quote unquote, older dudes. Remember?
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
like you said, no excuses for the situation. You know what I mean? And if he's guilty of stuff with like adolescents, I have a real big problem with that. Like I said, you're over 18 and you want to hang out with this dude. Hey.
See, that's the thing about jail time, JB. I don't know if 30 years is appropriate. Like, because we're punishing him, but shouldn't we want to help like every person that we're punishing, depending on like the crime or the level of rehabilitation they can received 30 years is excessive to me.
You know what? I think that is excessive as far as help goes. A rich black man in the system help. They want to hurt his pockets.
Mm-hmm.
They want to milk him dry. So you know that it's very interesting, the timing of things. So you know, it always perplexed me about how sometimes this person's doing this and everybody sees it, but you don't bring it up till 7 years later. You know, and it's like
everything. All that seems kind of fishy to me because I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying Bill Cosby is innocent.
No,
but how you bring this stuff up with these black men, the timing of these situations, the ability to hold on to information until you feel it's time to kind of railroad somebody. The problem with me is I just don't trust this system. So regardless of who the black man is, I got to look at who's behind the mechanisms that's taking place, because we always get railroaded. Yeah, the Me Too movement got, got Harvey Weinstein and some other white men, but we can't act like throughout history in this country we have been attacked unfairly and sometime with like a large hand of propaganda.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Look at Woody Ferrell front row with his stepdaughter.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, anybody said a word yet.
So last thing I want to talk to you about, JB, how did you feel about, because I made a video about this where I was kind of just poking around and trying to get like what the truth was. Tory Lanez was convicted of shooting Meg Thee Stallion.
Right.
What do you think when you think of a man, like an actual man, put on a gun and shooting a woman in her foot? Like,
you know what, man? He's a coward ass punk bitch. Canada can have him back. I am not impressed with this dude. His dad was outside of the courtroom lobbying for him like he was a victim of the year. And Tory looks like a straight sucker. And he was on the phone and from jail saying he was wilding. He didn't know what's going on. He sounded real guilty. And I mean, he looks like a kind of a dude that gets intimidated, and he's small and he got all this jewelry, and a girl turned him down and he loses cotton picking mind.
All that's true. And I've seen other things with him. Like he had an incident with August Alsina, maybe 6 months to a year ago. And it was very very ego driven. You know what I mean? It was very ego driven. It was because we got to understand something. Like I'm a 5'8", 5'8.5" man.
Right.
Like I'm not a tall dude, right? If you 5'5", 5'4", that's a whole different ball game right there. Tory Lanez, he's a little bitty nigga.
Hey, he's Kevin Hart size.
Hey,
look, hold on. Tanisha said he's a nasty pervert. Call it like it is. Fuck that. He's talking about R. Kelly.
I think she was talking about R. Kelly or
Bill Cosby. Okay, got you, Tanisha. Heard.
Yeah. So he's a small dude, and I wasn't saying Meg Thee Stallion was lying, but I'm not gonna be honest. I wasn't completely convinced that brother did it, because what I will say, because when this came out that he did it, a lot of stuff was going around about protect the black women. See, this is why we
absolutely,
black women. Man. See, well, here's the thing. My whole shit is about protecting black women, but right is, and can we not admit that sometimes, not all the time, sometimes women manipulate this system to get the outcome that they want.
Hey, you know what? While we're talking about this case, I'm not going to touch on nothing like that, because the way this case looks and the way this made this woman feel, how she wished he would have killed her. She said, if I knew it was going to be like this, I wish he would have shot and killed me. And she don't deserve that type of treatment. And there's no reason to treat this woman this way. There's she's a victim in so many ways here.
She is.
It's not, we gotta put our foot down and say it's not okay. The amount of people defending him is boggling the mind.
Well,
I must say that
it's not boggling. Now, after it comes out that he's guilty by a jury, which some people can be a little iffy with that because we know how that can be. But if a jury says he's guilty, he's guilty. But before he's saying he's guilty, I think people have the right to question the validity of shit, because I don't think any individual should say this happened and we don't have the right to say, well, maybe let me look around. Let me kind of explore.
But what is there to gain from her saying this man shot me in the foot?
I don't know. What's there to
She's
gain
way
from
more.
him
She's way
lying?
more famous than him.
True. Very true.
You know,
And
you see what I'm saying? So I go from that viewpoint. What does she have to gain from this? And I will say this: she healed like Wolverine.
You said what?
She healed up like Wolverine. She healed up very fast.
Yeah. See,
I don't know. That's what I will say. But other than that, hey, he looked guilty to me.
Yeah, shout out to that sister. He is sucker for shooting a woman. Like, that's not even something most men can fathom. Like, pull out a gun and telling her dance, bitch. That's like some TV shit. He's
Come
not
on
necessarily
now. Come on now,
this.
dog.
He's
not
necessarily living in reality.
Harlem Nights, bro.
You know what I mean? So there's suckers everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? And I think we should protect black women, but I think we should protect everybody though. Like I'm shout out to the sister Meg Thee Stallion. I'm happy she got justice. I wasn't just running around saying she lying.
Yeah.
But we have the right to question everything. Especially when we're looking at this Me Too movement, all these different movements where women are saying whatever, and we say, okay, she's telling the truth. When let's back up and look at all the facts.
Yeah, I think this case right here was hook, line, and sinker. I think this case was.
It looks like it was.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think this case was. And the right outcome came about.
Yes, and
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, and I think that look, like I was saying earlier about the universe, typically things work out the way they're supposed to work out because he got a big ego, he got a little man syndrome. Now, hopefully, they put him in protective custody. If not, he gonna have all that tested.
Hey,
get what he signed up for.
You better start paying people off right now. Start paying some people off right now, brother. I don't see you whooping the biggest dude's ass in there. I don't see that happening.
And based on what he did, people may have a problem with that. So he may have to answer
right.
That. So he getting what he deserved. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And, you know what I mean? I'm sorry that sister had to go through that.
Me too.
People should be able to critically think about whatever you're looking at.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you, my brother JB, coming on the show.
Absolutely,
today.
brother. My pleasure, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again, man. I definitely appreciate you being my brother for life. JB, y'all has been talking about coming on the show.
Yeah,
he was on the show, I think maybe like a year ago or something, but much more comfortable today. I think you're more comfortable from a remote location than
you know what? I gotta come in studio one of these days. I gotta come in studio.
In studio, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, so JB, do me a favor, man, and get everybody your social media.
I'm Bourn to Grub, BOURN 2 GRUB. Check some of my food out I do on there. And yes, I love the people and I love about cooking and having fun.
Yeah, JB has an organization called Bourn to Grub, and pretty soon we're gonna be doing some cooking and getting him out there so everybody can know.
I'm one of my friends talking about doing a master class and showing people how to cook.
That's something you can do. As long as you sit down and focus and do it, you got the ability. You know what I mean?
I just got down tonight, my brother. I'm getting back into it.
Yeah, we just got to put that
it never stopped, but ramping back up.
There we go. So everybody, thank you for joining the show, man. It's the Melanated Convo podcast, first show of the year. What's today? The 10th. Today's the 10th, first show of the year. We'll be back this Thursday with my sister Sonia. We're gonna ramp it back up. I got a lot of special guests coming, a lot of people that I've been trying to get on the show for a while that'll be coming on the show the next couple weeks, the next month or two. So do me a favor and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, which is the Melanated Convo on YouTube. Or if you like to listen to this type of content on digital platforms, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, all these different places you can find this digital content. There you'll find it as the Melanated Convo podcast. Great conversation with my brother JB. Good to the new year, and really just do better, right? Like as black men, figure out a way to do better in your life, not comparing yourself to someone else, not holding your past against you. I found myself doing it at times where I've done things in the past that I don't like. So I'm focusing on that and treating people a particular way based on what I've done to them in the past. Shit, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive the people around you if possible, and try your best to move forward, because being men, we have feelings and we have to express these things, but at the end of the day, we got to do our best to hold it together for the people around us.
Right. And I would say try to do better, care about yourself, be compassionate, and just try to be better than you were the day before.
It's a day-to-day process. So use January 1st if that's your litmus test.
And hold your head with dignity. Hold your head up with dignity, y'all. Have some dignity about yourself. Pick your pants up. Hold your chin high. Walk like the kings and queens you are. Okay? Do your hair.
Up, huh, JB? I don't want to see your goddamn draws now.
Hey, come outside with some shoes that are not house shoes on. Come on, y'all.
What if you got to run, huh? You got to pull your pants up and go find some shoes?
Come on now.
We're done.
Fall tragically.
You're going to fall on your face in my shoes wearing ass. You're going to have to come behind you and pick you up.
As I pull through the light. It's a lot of fun, brother. Good looking out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. Your brother Harrison, JB, Jarrette Bourn, Born the Grub in the building.